And side note, I remember talking to Shia. We never really got a lot of quiet time together, even though we had like dressing rooms across from each other. But I remember asking him one time, I was like, hey man, like, what do you think about me? Like as an actor, like I was very vulnerable to him actually.
Wow.
And he was like, I think of you kind of like a Reese Witherspoon type. And at that time, Election had come out. And so she had been this very like type A character. And so I didn't know what to make of that. But I think he was dead on. Like, I think at the time, like, there were some similarities in the way that I had that, like, intensity with, like, who Ren was and how they would put me in these situations. And I was like, okay, this week, I'm a news reporter. Okay, let's go for it. And I thought that was a lot of fun to kind of lean into whatever trope. We've gotten questions about what trope we were doing. Yeah. And so I would just kind of lean into whatever I thought a news reporter would act like. And they would write it really well.
Well, even though it was Disneyfied, like I'm thinking about our weatherman, right? We had like a
Artie.
Yeah,
Artie the weatherman.
Yeah, the weatherman, right?
Wait, no, was he?
That was later. That wasn't this episode.
Okay,
but
he was
like
a sports guy.
Yeah, sports guy. But looking at like I don't know if you've ever seen the weather guy on morning television. It's not that far off from the Disney Channel weather guy.
Yeah,
they can be a little out there too.
Yeah, Oh no, but I was talking about Artie because Artie was a character that I completely forgot about.
Oh yeah.
So there was an actor who played Artie, and he had done some other stuff too. But he was a pretty good actor. He was a little overweight, but he was for his age and everything. But man, he was a character actor, and he brought it into the room.
Very big, very broad.
But you've talked about in the past how inclusive or diversified we tried to make people feel represented, and I feel like Artie was one of those characters where it's like, this is a heavyset guy that you went to school with, but he's still a part of the school. Yeah. You still know an Artie.
Everybody does.
Well, I think that's the one thing that Mark and Dennis did really well is once they came on board and started to kind of like recreate what our world looked like, it became much more colorful.
Yep. I would 100% say Foodzilla was very colorful compared to the others.
Yeah. But what the other thing I like about this episode too. So, Christy is producing a news program for the school. Sorry, not Christy.
Who has the time?
Ren.
Yeah, but who has the time?
And Lewis is eagerly trying to win a spot. Win a story on the broadcast, and finally she lets him do it. And he goes in to interview the cafeteria woman, who from there it just goes completely sideways.
Of course.
And he starts kind of like
Lunch Lady.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Lunch Lady song from Adam Sandler?
No.
What? You don't remember the Lunch Lady song from Adam Sandler? It's huge.
Can we hear it?
No, I don't remember it either.
No. I want to hear you sing it. Don't go to your phone.
I don't actually know it. I know he just says Lunch Lady. Awesome. Something about mashed potatoes and something about with your hairnet and something. And so it just really reminds me of this character.
That's gonna be memed. Just that little clip right there. I know. I'm seeing that. That's gonna be memed for sure.
Millennial fail that I don't remember that word for word.
So basically, Shia's episode with this woman goes completely sideways, and they make fun of her, and she becomes, in modern times, a meme. Yes. He turns her into a meme, basically the Foodzilla meme, and she can't take it, and she leaves the school. But the reason why I bring all this up is what I love. What happens after is, again, one of those moments that for me, not seeing the show in 20 something odd years, going back and watching the two of you guys, you really worked together on this episode a lot. There's a lot of you acting together, and I know it wasn't always.
It was hard.
It wasn't always, this great harmonious relationship between
First of all,
the two of you.
I don't really know why, other than we were just young, and we had a really ambitious kid here whose home life wasn't perfect, and neither was mine. But like, he came to set as a means to like truly, that was his calling, right?
Right.
And so I just think we were very different and similar at the same time. And so I think there was this natural competitiveness with us that just couldn't not be there.
I definitely think that's part of it. And I think that for anybody, even if you're a young person, ego is a big part of this stuff, right? You can't escape that in life in general, but especially when you're on a TV show and your name is on something and your face is on something. I think the competitiveness goes beyond just being competitive as artists or actors. It's like, who is the main person of the show? Who kind of carries the weight of the show becomes a natural battle. I think that happens.
And
Okay?
what's interesting though is like,
Did you feel it too? I'm kind of curious. Okay, good.
that's what my point was as like a viewer, because you got to remember I didn't come until the second season.
No, I'm talking about even then. Did you feel our animosity towards each other? Okay.
What it translated to is just that basic, brother sister rivalry dynamic,
and that's what it can
be. And then
be.
as viewers like me, that's what we see there. We don't obviously we don't see all that
and
there.
that's why the show was so iconic.
That's what it translated to.
And but I do think there were two kids there that were really unable to get past a certain point in terms of bonding. So that's why sometimes I'm a little bummed that I couldn't figure out how to get through that. But
honestly,
you can't do anything about it.
You were a kid, but sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, it's like everybody wants to bond with their co-star, and
yeah,
I'm sorry, it's overrated. Like y'all are like the most fucking closest I've ever been with any of my co-stars. I'm honestly a hermit on set, because why would I want to open myself up to that if that person could be a total fucking asshole?
Good point.
Or they could be a great person, but that's a chance as an actor, especially if I'm going to be doing a series with you for like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Why would I want to take that chance instead of just having this ultimate little fantasy about this person?
Yeah, I think that's valid.
Yeah.
I think if that's how you maintain your professionalism on set, that's very valid, and I respect that.
Well, but I also think that's a level of maturity. If look, you want to develop relationships with people that are positive, that you're going to work with, especially for a long time. You want that. It's like, we were talking earlier about,
I also want world peace, but hey, ain't gonna get it.
What you're saying is a safer bet.
Well, but you certainly don't solve that problem by not trying.
Yeah.
Okay,
you do it your own way.
You do you, boo.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that you ultimately want to have that positive relationship. It's like you and Lauren, right? The experiences are so much more real and rich and lasting when you're able to build that bond. But in this particular episode, I did see a fun bond between the two of you.
It was there, though.
It was there.
It was really, okay, I'm really glad we're talking about this, actually, because I know that Nick and you are both dedicated to making this sort of a safe space for us to just have open dialogue. And no one's trying to rat anyone out, obviously, who's not here or whatever. But it is really lovely to unpack this, because here I have two people who have very unique perspectives on this time. And it's like, you were an adult, so you knew. Also, you were on the inside space of all this, right? And then I think I would be a little heartbroken if I knew that any of my things that I was going through was something that as a young person you saw and drew from. So I'm happy that you didn't. So far, I didn't traumatize him, which is making me happy.
No, you didn't,
I don't want to be a part of that for you.
No.
Okay, but side to that, there was a love that I can't explain that I've had for Shia even after we work together. And I genuinely mean this. And so when I connect with you, Nick, it's so reassuring in that no matter what it was, that it was real, you know what I mean? And that I have a way in to access and reclaim this, right? Yeah. And so I'm so grateful. I really am so grateful. And I just love you. And I love you.
I love you.
We love you too, Christy.
Thanks, guys. But I never got to come, and people come in and out of your life, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it may be a regret of mine. I don't regret much, but I do think that I was trying to find a way to care about Shia at the time. When I look back at that and you see these moments with us, like you're saying, and my character gets to show him love.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to give him that energy in those moments. But when we called cut, it didn't continue. Unfortunate. Yeah. I was sad about that.
Well, and I think so on the artist side, in a way, this is also weird for me to talk about because at the end of the day, you were kids.
I didn't know the difference between reality.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys were kids. And to have this conversation, if you were two adults working in an adult world, you can have a little more sophisticated conversation about this stuff. you can't really dig too deep when you're talking about kids do crazy shit.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Even More Stevens podcast. For full episodes, check us out on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get podcasts.